Right, I'm going to do this on a monthly calculation. The first cost is insurance. I put that at an average of 400. It obviously can go higher or lower. I've had people paying 500, 600, but all depends on the driver and their situation. It's very specific how much insurance that anyone pays. Average 400, that's the first and main cost. Number two, we've got taxation. You need a tax disc for your HGV. That's around, I've checked out, it's about 600, 500, 600, depending on the size of the lorry. If I put that at 600 a year, brings us down to 50 a month. So we are on insurance and tax 450 so far. Next is a manager, CPC transport manager, one without which you can't operate. Average is 300 in the current times. Used to be 250, other people used to charge 200, but now everyone's going to 300, 350, and even 400. I've put my average there at 300. Right, the fourth cost is driver. Main cost without which you can't do nothing. If you don't have no one to drive your lorry, obviously you can't do anything. So the driver, and it's the second highest cost on my list. Driver, I've put the driver at around 2,800. If you divide by 4, that's about 700. New drivers can get you jobs done at around £700 a week. Right, the fourth, where am I? Number 5 is the biggest, and number 5 is the biggest cost that you're going to find in a transport company, and that is fuel. Diesel, the cost of diesel is really high. I've put that estimate at 3,200. If you divide by 4 every week, I've put an estimate of about £800 you need for fuel. This always obviously is depends on where you're going, and it is all specific to the jobs and the routes. These are only averages, and also these are based on a basic week, not the peak week that you're probably enjoying right now, but the other weeks when it goes slower, up and down. I'm just looking for a middle place. So it's based on earning £10,000 a month with your truck, gross. So I'm now breaking down the costs. Right, so the fuel, around that £10,000, you will have to spend about 3,200 out of it on just that item they're calling diesel. Okay, we are yet to get into electric vehicles. I bet that will go right down if you use electric, which are harder to get, more expensive to find, but that's another story for another day. Where are we? That's number 5. Number 6 is also an obvious one, which is parking. You even need to get this before you are allowed to buy a truck or to operate a truck. So parking, just to recap, these are the ones also that are right in front, unavoidable. The next set of course are going to be ones that you can sort of avoid or decide how much you want to leave for it. But just to recap, these are the main ones. Insurance 400, tax 50, manager 300, driver 2,800, fuel 3,200, parking 250. Average. These are averages. You could get, like the parking that I had when I bought a truck, videos that I had earlier this year, I was paying 470, almost 500. But I went somewhere else where I saw that there's a place somewhere in Hoddesdon that was at 200. So I'm looking for an average. I'll put it at 250. If you add this up, so far you're at 7,000. Before I carry on, I'd like to give my thoughts and prayers and sympathy to the family of a fella called Miller, who passed on 3 weeks ago. He was one of my workers when I used to do van removals. He lived in Stonebridge area, Willesden Stonebridge area of London. May his soul rest in peace. The final course, we've got maintenance, we've got recovery. Number 7 is maintenance, number 8 is recovery. Lorries, by the way, averagely get recovered for about 500 pounds. If it happens to you and you're a new owner, you need about 500 on you. The other trick is to find associations of recovery. There are places where people pay a monthly and then they are covered. Something to do like AA, but for lorries. You want to make those calls and find those out. Apart from that, once it happens to you, it is a 500. So this is the money I'm saying that you want to put aside for in number 9. You need wash. You can never go the whole time without having a little wash for your lorry. Be good practice to have something in budget just for a wash, whether it's once in 2 months or whatever. So the miscellaneous will include new things that you don't know of. There are more certifications. There are so many things that come up that we don't have on a list. Like now, the operators have got something that they're calling SARS. I think it's CERS, where without which you can't go into central London. They're asking them to put cameras in the driver and the dash, and you need to find out. So miscellaneous will cover that. This whole amount, the total of these other costs I've put down as £1,000. Okay, that brings the grand profit, rough profit of £2,000 a month. That is, if you add up all of these, the first costs I put up to 7,000, and these other 4, which is maintenance and miscellaneous and having money to recovery, wash, I've put that as 1,000. If you keep 1,000 every month roughly, I think you will be safe, because if it doesn't happen in 2 months, you have 2,000. If you in 3 months, you have 3,000 for that. These are only estimates, and the real costs are going to be different. Also, 10,000 is like a minimum end. There are much better rates, and actually the profits come in on those other good seasons, because the main costs do not change, but yet the collections can increase. So if you have increased collections and then just take off the 7,000, that's how your profit keeps going up and down. Around Christmas, it's well over 10,000 that you can collect. That means your profits are right up, because that main cost is the same. Okay, I ain't going to go on and on and on. I'm going to leave this video at this, and I'm going to say stay safe, God bless, love. I'd like to take this chance to say thank you to Tonde Forsyth for suggesting this topic, and
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to everybody.